Hello, and welcome back to, I guess this will be the finale of Fall Fightstick Frenzy. Although, unfortunately, it's going to be going out with a bit of a whimper. I do have another creation to show you, but unfortunately, I don't have any gameplay to show you. I can't really show you in action because I messed up the wiring. And I could fix it, and I will at some point, but um, I just don't really have time to right now, especially not before 21st when fall officially ends. And also, I do have a Christmas stick that I do want to make before Christmas, so like really limited time right now. Um, and I just, in other parts of it, didn't turn out how I really wanted to either. It just, I'll get around to wiring it eventually, and I'll probably record another video when I do, but it's just not in the cards at this exact moment. But I did want to put this out because this was the last Halloweeny folly device that I wanted to make before the end of this whole deal. The last thing I bought, and here it is. So once again, the basis of this is a tin box I bought from Spirit Halloween. They have a bunch of these. They're like character shaped. You can see they're all like, they're not like rectangular. They're like shaped around the body of the character. They had a bunch of them, a bunch of different characters, a lot of horror movie characters, but also like the Ninja Turtles, I think, Scooby Doo. I bought an ET one. I may or may not make something out of that, but the Frankenstein one I thought was perfect for my idea of the fight stick because the way the buttons and wires stick out of him, it just looks like he's being experimented on, almost like a game of operation. It worked in my mind at least. Didn't come out perfect, but the other fun thing is the start and select buttons. I have on the sides there, like almost like his neck bolts. That one should have gone a little farther up, but oh well. They do look still good. Very simple momentary buttons, but the main thing that made this tricky and why I kind of messed up the wiring is obviously these aren't normal arcade buttons. With something this small, this is much smaller than, not much smaller, but the form factor does not lend itself to full-size arcade buttons or even the 28 millimeter ones, 24 millimeters, whatever, the smaller ones. So I had to use something else, and I don't think they make arcade buttons small enough for that size hole. So I used key switches, like keyboard switches, low profile keyboard switches. Let me see if I have the box with me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. These guys. Hold on. Yeah, these. So yeah, all those buttons are based on these with 3D printed keycaps. And to make these work, you have to either have like a normal keyboard style PCB that you can hot swap them, but I don't have that. At least not one that would make sense for this. I once again used a Raspberry Pi. So instead I have to solder the wires onto those little pins there, which is tricky in and of itself, but then I also have to solder it to the pins on the, solder the wires to the pins on the Raspberry Pi Pico board. So kind of messed up on that. Some of the buttons work, some of them don't. Just not enough to show you off the whole thing. But design-wise, I'm still pretty proud of my creativity of how to do this. But I also didn't think through how to mount these key switches, so they are just super glued onto there because they don't really fit in the hole. Although I almost like the aesthetic of the wires coming out of the hole, because again, it adds to that, like, he's Frankenstein, he's being built and experimented on thing. So we've got our arrow keys on his chest, and I use clicky switches because of course I did. I always want my controllers loud and obnoxious. And then here's our action buttons. Just a different type of keycap 3D printed. These are just plain round, and then these ones are kind of like more organic and yucky looking. And yeah, so in terms of practicality, it's not. It's kind of comfortable to hold in the hands, like two hands around there. Like it's not the worst, but that's not how you'd be using this, right? Because you're not. That would be controlling with your thumbs, and that's a little awkward. So if you're having it on your lap like this, claw grip, or like that, it's kind of good. The keycaps are very close together though. So like normally when I have a regular fight stick, how I position my hands, I do like, actually I have my goosebumps on me, I'll show you what I mean. So like normally how I like to position my hands, so this is hitbox style, but I'll do this like pointer finger, middle finger, thumb, ring finger, and then pinky on either that button or that button, depending. That's what's comfortable for me. Sometimes I swap it up to have the ring finger up here instead of the middle one, depends on the game, I guess. But on here, if I try to do that, it's like real small. And it does work, but it's not the most comfortable. So over here, I'm more likely to stretch out. So thumb there, pointer finger there, and then middle finger's like all over the place, way on the end. So I don't know. It's the size of this is kind of similar to like the Leafcutter Labs mix box. Of course, cheap. This was fairly cheap to make, so because I made it from scratch. But Leafcutter Labs is cheap too, like not cheaply made, but like cheap to purchase. So like roughly same value regardless. But this is more of an aesthetic fun thing because it's like a character. You can even stand him up over there like that to display him. Of course, that's not how you're going to play it, but aesthetically, I'm kind of happy with it. I'm just kind of disappointed that I didn't wire it correctly. And still, like, after all this, Fall Fightstick Frenzy, although it's by far the simplest and was the easiest to make, this is honestly the one I've been using the most. This has become, like, my daily driver, the Goosebumps one. It's very simple, but it's practical. Whereas this guy, I could possibly make some adjustments to make him practical, but it's more for the fun of building and the aesthetic. And I am kind of happy with how it turned out regardless. I learned from my mistakes, learned how to wire it properly, and learned how to position the buttons better and think ahead about that kind of that sort of thing. So anyway, thanks for watching, especially if you've been watching the whole time. Fall Fightstick Frenzy. I might remember when I thought I was going to have this done by Halloween. Ha ha ha, it's almost Christmas now. But that's okay. And hopefully I will have that Christmas one done in time. It's much simpler. It's very low effort, I believe, the Christmas one I'm putting together. So hopefully that'll be out by Christmas. But again, like lots of things going on in my life. This has been an extremely busy year for me, and like again, mostly good things. But still, like managing my time and all that. I can't be building fight sticks constantly, but I am happy that I got as many done as I did. And I feel like this is a new skill that I learned, and I'll probably take a break after the Christmas one for a bit, but this isn't the end of me trying this. I've been getting in the mode of every time I see any kind of unique looking box, I want to make a fight stick out of it. So thanks for watching, and happy much belated Halloween, and happy Christmas or other winter holidays you may or may not celebrate now that we're closer to that time. Thanks for watching Fall Fightstick Frenzy. Hope you enjoyed, and anyone else participated or just made any fight sticks or hit boxes or mix boxes or whatever during these last couple months, let me know in the comments, because this is a fun hobby that I'd like to see other people participating in and learning from each other and seeing your creativity. So thanks again, and have a swell rest of your month and a swell winter that we're about to be approaching on. All right. Good night, all.